What's going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my UFC 99 review video. Going to go over the fights that I did predictions on. Just real quick, forewarning, if you haven't seen this fight card yet, you're watching it on the tape delay at 10, there will be spoilers on this video, so make sure that if you haven't seen them, just turn the video off so that you don't get spoilers on the fights and it doesn't ruin them for you. Good night of fights, like I said. Some technical fights, some compelling fights. Going to go over the ones I did predictions on. Going to start from the top. Dan Hardy taking on Marcus Davis. A good back-and-forth fight. Davis had some good takedowns in this fight, some good combinations. Had a couple good body kicks and leg kicks that he worked. Hardy had some good countering, some good leg kicks. Actually rocked Davis with a counter hook. Later rocked him with a nasty, nasty knee that dropped Davis. Late in the third round, Hardy was able to get a takedown, work some ground and pound, opened up a nasty cut on Davis's nose and a cut underneath of his right eye. Very, very close fight. It ends up going to a split decision, and Dan Hardy pulls it out. I think that the end of the third round was really what did it for him. I don't want to say kudos to Dan Hardy, but I guess what you could say is, in a way, the way that he, poked at Marcus Davis, got him this shot, and he beat a big-name fighter at this weight class at 170. So, congratulations to him. They'll probably give him somebody a little bit higher up on the food chain. It'll be interesting to see, who they give him next. For Davis, he'll be back, and I'm sure he'll work on some of the mistakes that he made in this fight. All right, next fight, Spencer Fisher taking on Cal Uno. This one went exactly like I thought it was going to go. Fisher was able to do enough on the feet, enough with the combinations on the feet, enough with the leg kicks, enough in the clinch. Stuffed enough takedowns, even though he did get taken down in this fight. And Uno was able to get some good positioning, from Fisher making mistakes and actually rolling him over in the guard. Uno actually did have the mount late in the third round, and was trying to finish the fight. He was about to go for an armbar as the round ended, but Fisher ends up winning a unanimous decision. Looked good on the feet, had good combinations. Hopefully he'll continue to impress. Uno, I think he'll definitely be back. The UFC will bring him back. We'll see how that plays out. All right, next fight, Mike Swick taking on Ben Saunders. Early in the fight, Swick gets a takedown, starts working some ground and pound. There's some crap talk that goes between them. It was funny. Rogan and Goldberg were actually rating what the guys were saying, whether or not it was it was good enough, and who had the advantage. That was real funny. Late in the second, Swick actually lands some good combinations. Rocks Saunders. Saunders actually crumbles down to the cage. Swick hits him with a couple more shots. The fight is stopped, and Swick wins via a second-round TKO. He did enough on the feet, did good in the clinch, was able to nullify Saunders' clinch, which is where I was curious to see how Swick would handle that. One more fight, I think he gets a title shot. For Saunders, he'll be back. He constantly gets better and better after each fight, so I'm sure he'll work on his mistakes, and he'll be better in his next fight. All right, next fight, Mirko Cro Cop taking on Mustafa Al-Turk. Wow. Cro Cop looks back. He looks hungry. He looks motivated. The only thing I will say is that at the end of this fight, he did look a little bit gassed, so hopefully he'll go back and work on his cardio. But landed some good combinations, was able to shrug off takedowns that Al-Turk tried to get with the underhooks. Cro Cop just threw him off like a rag doll. Landed some good right-left combinations, rocking Al-Turk. Al-Turk actually comes back off the cage. Cro Cop puts his hand out, inadvertently pokes him in the eye. Al-Turk turns around and covers his face up, which really, he shouldn't have done this. He should have done this. So the ref would have known that he got poked in the eye, but, hindsight's 20/20. Cro Cop finishes him next to the cage and gets a first-round TKO. Like I said, Cro Cop looked motivated. He looked hungry. He looked like the animal that we once saw in Pride. If he continues to fight like this, it continues to progress, he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in the UFC in the heavyweight division. So congratulations to him. For Al Turk, he's done. He won't be back. I don't think the UFC is going to bring him back. Next fight, Cain Velasquez versus Cheick Kongo. Really nothing to be said about this fight other than Velasquez got rocked once in the second, once in the first, and from that point on, once in the first, once in the second, but in all 3 rounds he was able to dominate Kongo on the ground, takedowns, get different positions. He had half guard, side control, he had his back, worked for the rear naked choke, had mount in the 3rd round, working for ground and pound. Kongo just really, even though he has progressed a little bit with his wrestling, he's had problems in the past. He had problems with Carmelo Marrero, problems with Heath Herring, and now once again we see it with Cain Velasquez. Velasquez goes on to win a unanimous decision. Looked very impressive in this fight, other than the fact that he got rocked twice. He'll need to go back and fix those holes as far as his boxing, but other than that, he looked very impressive in this fight. And goes on, like I said, to win a unanimous decision. For Kongo, he will not be getting the title shot like he always asks for. Hopefully he will go back and work on his wrestling and get that tuned in. And once he gets that tuned in, he should be good to go. But just that's his Achilles heel right now. Alright, on to the main event. Rich Franklin taking on Wanderlei Silva. A close fight. I think a little bit closer than the way this fight was scored. But I actually gave the... well, let's just talk about the fight first, and then I'll tell you how I scored it. Rich Franklin had a very good game plan as far as staying back. Silva was not aggressive. I'm thinking just because the way he talked at the weigh-ins and even before the pre-fight stuff about how that he needed to win fights more than putting on exciting fights. I think he's just being a little bit more tentative in this fight to try to win it. But there were points in this fight where Wanderlei was aggressive and actually caught Rich and hurt him bad. He did it in the second, a little bit in the first, where in the second he actually landed a looping over him right, Matt Serra-esque, and rocked Rich Franklin. But Rich was able, I think, to do enough on the feet. He had good leg kicks, good 1-2 combinations, moving in and out of the pocket effectively. Had a good left high kick in the second or the third, I can't remember which one, and actually rocked Wanderlei a little bit. But, Rich looked good in the clinch. He's able to shrug off some of Wanderlei's clinch work. Wanderlei had a takedown in the first. In the second, Wanderlei, I think, controlled that round, had really good combinations. Had the point where he rocked. Wanderlei had the point where he rocked Rich. In the third, it was a real close round. It was back and forth. Franklin had a late takedown that I think solidified that round for him. And Rich Franklin goes on to win a unanimous decision. It was interesting how a lot of these decisions, there were no scores given by the judges. I don't know what the score was on this fight. If it was 29-28, I think that was a good score because I gave round 1 and I barely gave round 3 to Franklin just based upon what he did and that late takedown. But you could have easily given this to Wanderlei as well. So I think it was a lot closer than a unanimous decision. I think it was more so a split decision than a unanimous, but... that was the way that the judges scored it, which the 10-point must system, I don't like it, never have, never will, but I think that's something that hopefully as the sport grows with MMA, that's something that'll be fixed. So, nonetheless, it was a good night of fights. Make sure you check it out if you didn't get a chance to see it. I will be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Karsten to do MMA XL Radio on justin.tv/MMA XL Radio, so make sure you check that out. Make sure to check out my sponsors on the description side, and on that note, you guys, have a great day.